So hey guys,
Hello.
I'm back with another installment on the initial installments of Conversations with Coco. And after having a discussion with my production people or person, what came out of there was the need for me to have a discussion to talk a little bit about who I am and what one part of my story is that will help you to understand who I am and why I feel the experiences that I've been through may be able to be helpful to you in some way, form, shape, or fashion, and how those experiences have gotten me to where I am today, how they've shaped me, how they've molded me, so that it lends some credibility or credence to the things that I have learned and gained that I feel may be helpful to those of you guys who choose to tune in to listen. So again, welcome to Conversations with Coco, and I want to share one quick story from my early 20s that I did not realize until having a conversation with my daughter really sparked the beginning of my growth journey. Even though then I really didn't think about it as being a growth journey, I just looked at it as another chapter in my life. So in my early 20s, I was living with some relatives, and it was kind of not a very good situation. And after a lot of prayer and a lot of, what do I want to say? A lot of agony, because it was a really stressful, intense situation, I finally decided it was time for me to strike out on my own and move out on my own and really begin to start my life as a young adult. And that was very, very scary because of where my childhood had led me before then and how it had gotten me to live with these particular individuals that I was living with and needing to exit that particular situation. So I had a best friend at the time who said, hey, you can come live with me until you find a place on your own, because you really got to get out of this situation, because it was affecting me in a negative way, both spiritually, emotionally, physically. I was depressed. I was really feeling like there was nothing that I could do right, because that was just the kind of environment that I was living in and the kind of pressure that I was under. So I got everything set up to finally exit this place where I was living and to strike out on my own. Again, very, very scary, because a lot of the messaging that I was hearing was, oh, you're going to be just like my mom, like your mom, and that's a whole other story. You're going to have a baby young, you're not going to be any good, you're going to be in the street life, and all of these kinds of negative things that I was hearing, even though nothing that I was doing in my life was looking like it was leading me down any negative path. I was heavily into spiritual things at that time. And so was this person allegedly, but not really. In any event, I mustered up the courage to get a plan together to leave the place and the people with whom I was staying, and to move in with my best friend and her 2 children until I could, build up some more money to find a place of my own. And at this time, being a young, still living in New York, which is where I grew up, it was really difficult to find a place as a single person if you didn't want a roommate. So I was grateful that my girlfriend was able to support me, even though she really didn't have space for me to live. She created a space for me to live. And that right there is a testament to true friendship that I'll have to talk about on another one of these conversations. But moving along, I finally got out of the situation. And a lot of people started coming up to me afterwards. And I remember one particular person who was a friend of mine, and she actually was also my hairdresser. Her name was Denise. And I remember her coming up to me this one Sunday after a religious service, and she pulled me to the side, kind of wanted to talk to me. And she said, oh, I heard that you left that situation in the house where you were living. And she was just basically saying, oh, I want you to know that I'm so proud of you. And I remember her taking me by the hand, you know, and giving me a hug and saying, you know, I know this was probably really difficult for you, and this is a really challenging time, but I want you to know, you know, that I know it's been a hard situation, and I just didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to get in the middle of it and seem like, you know, I want to cause any problem. But I really, you know, she really wanted to, you know, encourage me to keep pressing forward and moving forward as a young person and striking out on my own, because she knew more about my struggles than I really realized that she